Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, carers and thrivers. Caregivers, are you burnt out? How could you tell? What are 5 tips that can help you if you are? How can you prevent it? What do you do when you're a caregiver and you're working as well full time? Let's discuss that in the next few minutes. I am so happy to be here. And we're going to just jump in and join in. Feel free to leave your comments on how your journey is going as a caregiver, a family caregiver, with a job, a full time job, family caregiver, the whole shebang. How are you going to do it? What are you going to do? So, if you haven't met before, I am Dr. Lana, specialist gerontologist, and using my 20 years of experience as a general practitioner and most recently as a specialist gerontologist, and my passion for caregivers who are the bedrock heroes, unsung, unpaid, very often unrecognized, sadly, those who are especially family caregivers of an older person or a person with a chronic illness. And I'm using that knowledge, personal experience, in order to help caregivers to not only care with all your heart as you do, but to take care of yourself first. Remember, the theme really is your oxygen mask first, so that you can be the best you can be and serve all with all that you have, as well as maintain your own dreams and your visions for your life. So, we're going to talk about caregiving today, and wherever you are in the world, welcome. So, caregiver burnout. Well, that seems to be a throwaway phrase, you could say, and a lot of persons seem to be confused. Well, how do you feel? I'm so tired. I'm burnt out. It seems to be like an expression. It's a new expression. I'm burnt out. COVID certainly has made us feel that way, as if we've just like lost all our energy. But for family caregivers, especially, why is it so much of a bother? Why is it so much of a concern? Why are we doctors so concerned? So let's dive in first to the definition of burnout. So let's see first how it's defined, and then you can gradually think if you're in the burning embers, or burning a flame, or if you're in the ashes and you just can't go any further. So, what is caregiver burnout? Well, it's by definition, using one definition, Cleveland Clinic, I'll use their definition, but you can find this anywhere you Google, and it'll probably say the same thing. That it's a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion. It's like when you've reached the point of no return, when you feel as though you've given all that you can give, you have nothing left. All you want to do is just collapse and lie down. Stress caregivers, as it says, may experience fatigue, anxiety, and depression. So that's those are some of the symptoms that you have. The definition really is every single bit of you feels as though it cannot go anymore. So, what are 5? There are many, many warning signs, and some of them can be non-specific. So, if you think of a definition of a person who may have depression, someone who may be anxious, someone who may have a chronic mental health concern, they may all interlock, they may all seem to be the same. So, if you're feeling any of these to an extent that has been 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, definitely, or more, and life has changed for you, you feel as though you just want to run away, drive away, and never come back, that's definitely a big sign that you are burnt out or that you are heading towards burnout. So 5 warning signs. We'll just stick to five. There's plenty, but we'll stick to five. But let's think first of all, why are you burnt out? Why do caregivers, especially those of an older person or those of a spouse or those who are taking care of someone with a chronic illness, why do they have a greater risk of burnout? Well, think of it. You're constantly, every single day, doing intense activities for someone who used to do it themselves. Someone who used to actually maybe support you in your activities. Mother, father, if it's a spouse, someone with whom you used to do activities and share those with. Now that person is no longer able to do it with you. So there's a role change. If it's a child to parent, is a role reversal. Parent used to take care of you. Now you're doing that. So that role reversal just becomes a place of confusion. And that confusion, especially when it's thrust upon you, let's say if the person was suddenly ill with a stroke or heart attack or a physical ailment, that person now you never planned for illness, you never expect it. You certainly don't expect a long-term thing. So when something like that happens to you, it's it's a crash on your system and your brain, your body, especially when you're working and you're going along, it's like a collision course. So it takes you by surprise and it puts you in that freeze and then fright and then fight or flight mode. So what do? Well, you don't want to fly away. Caregivers are all heart. So you're in fight mode, you're ready to go, but you froze first. So because there's a role confusion, what happens next? The sudden thing that just came to me, what do I do now? Sometimes there's other things around you in the environment, things that you can't control, especially with the onset of COVID-19, but even before that. We've had so many, and there are ongoing financial stressors, ongoing financial turmoil. Wherever you look in the world, there's turmoil. So there's financial turmoil, there's economic issues, there's if you've got children as well, and taking care of an older person or a family member or someone who has a chronic illness at home, unpaid, mind you have to go from work to work and back and you're never with a break. With all those other external factors, there's a lack of control. So you know that slinky that you start, it's that little toy that can unfold and it's really nice and fun, but it can wobble out of your hands. That's is that how you feel? Like life is wobbling out of your hands? Things are just getting out of control. You have no way of knowing what to do next. That that's another those are things that can hit you and can place you in that position of burnout. May also, let's face it, we caregivers tend to be persons with really high expectations. They're trustworthy, people who place high demands on themselves, who may because they're of their trustworthiness be placed in high demanding jobs. So you might be in a high demanding job and you're asked to do something that requires even more of you. And you expect more of yourself. I certainly do place sometimes it's called an unreasonable, I never see it as unreasonable, expectation on myself to do everything the right way the first time, all the time. And honestly, that's unrealistic. But it's what we do. It's what you do. So that can place you in a position where you then feel everything's getting out of your hands. So let's talk about now the five signs that something is wrong, that you are burning and you are crashing. Have you started to feel an, an unusual sense of anger? Like every little thing. You used to be able to maybe manage what you used to do, life would come, but now you're just angry all the time, or you're just irritable, and you, the littlest thing, the phone rings at the wrong time, and you just snappy. Person say, "Oh, you just becoming snappy. What's happening with you?" You feel agitated more than usual to the point where you cannot control it. Have you lost? That's one. Two, have you lost interest? Have you just lost interest in doing anything with anyone, going out, talking to anybody on the phone, washing the dishes, just even doing the laundry? I mean, that if you've gone to a point where even that is just too much to handle and you can't be bothered, you've lost all interest, nothing brings you joy, nothing brings you satisfaction, nothing feels right. That's warning sign number two. Now remember, these don't always have to run in order. They may be signs of something else going on wrong. I advise you, remember, this is not a medical advice channel per se, a community of carers, yes. But if you find any of these symptoms, or you know of someone, you've seen those signs in them and they're a caregiver of anyone, please seek medical attention. Third sign is a change in your sleep pattern. So either you're sleeping way more, or you're not sleeping at all. You're waking up after an hour of broken sleep, or you've had broken sleep all night, and that's just been going on and on. You can't function at work. You're falling asleep in your duties. You're falling asleep at the wheel. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me. I was drifting to the side and realized when the rubber was in the road, and I had no recollection of what happened. Just so tired. Um, as that happened, so change in sleep patterns, a definite change. Have you been feeling as though you want to leave? I mean, as in end it all, as in you just don't want to be here anymore. Persons would be just better off without you. You'd be better off if you weren't here. Any feelings of wanting to harm yourself, that's a sure sign. So that's number four. That's one that's dangerous. Um, they're all dangerous, but that one definitely. So we've talked about loss of interest, change in sleep patterns, with just not wanting to do anything anymore. Uh, Activities that used to bring you joy you no longer do. You want to harm yourself. Any of those is happening to you or more, it's a sure sign that you may be suffering from burnout. And that's not unusual. And don't feel as though you're to blame. Studies show, and the American Association of Retired Persons has done actual studies from 2015, and they've seen a change in 2020 where more than half, one in five of Americans, this is just US statistics, remember, this is all over the world. Let's multiply it by how many? 53 million persons in the United States are caregivers of some sort. 26% are taking care of someone with dementia or Alzheimer's. Just that alone. Of those, 61%, and we're talking numbers, yes, but these are large numbers. This is more than half people also work. So you're not made of steel. You don't just plug and unplug. You can't just switch your brain off. You can't switch your heart off. You can't just stop doing what you're doing, quit your job and just go with the flow. That's not possible for most persons. So how are you living through this? So don't feel alone. There are many, many, many. And of those, there was a recent study which suggested that 36%. So I don't know what that is. A 10, last was like what? 4 to 10 people about have burnout symptoms. You're feeling absolutely smashed, shattered, as the British would say, just shattered. So in the comments below, feel free to leave in the comments below. And what is your feeling? Do you know of anyone who's feeling this way? If so, what can you do? Well, first and foremost, obviously recognizing those signs is the first thing. Don't blame yourself. Just let's just start with that. That's not even really number one on the list of how do you get through it. But I just want to personally say, don't blame yourself. You are human, and with just being human, we're frail. We're living in some epic times of rapid change, times of turmoil. And that turmoil takes a toll on anybody. So don't blame yourself. Also, you're not alone. So it's not just you. Guilt, the shame, the blame, none of that. If you do feel like that, it's a sign that you care. It's a sign that you care. So that's first. So what do you do first? Talk. Please, of the 5 things you're going to do to seek help, if you're in any of this category of burnout, talk. Talk to somebody. Tell someone. Or if you're a friend, offer to be a listening ear to someone and say, you're not looking yourself, you're not seeing the same, you don't seem the same way, you're not who you used to be. Talk to somebody. Talk to your doctor if you're feeling as though you can't share it with anybody else. Talk with a doctor, talk with a trusted friend, speak to a counselor, speak to your religious person if you have someone that you would talk to. Just tell somebody, especially if you feel to self-harm. Tell somebody. There are hotlines, there's helplines. Talk to someone. Number 2, in that chat, you may find that you need to delegate. So ask for help, accept the help. That ain't easy, especially when you've taken on the world, you've taken on the challenge of caregiving. You want to do the best you can. And sometimes you may feel like there's no one there, or you've asked and no one's answered. This is the time you're burning out. You're turning to ashes. Ashes can't build anything, serve anybody. So if someone's offering you help, take it. Take charge and ask for help. Say, can you please take care of the laundry for me? Can you please, sis, brother, friend, can you collect the medication for me? Can you go to the supermarket run for me? Can you help me make the list for the supermarket? Can you help me do the dishes? Just outsource whoever you can. Outsource by delegating. Outsource for services. That's number 3. Outsource the services. There may be a delivery service that can help you. 4, say no. What do I mean by that? Say no to some things. You may just have to say no. We talked about withdrawal from social activities, but sometimes there may just be places and things, quite frankly, you are tired. You just have to say no. If you have a huge assignment to do for work, you may not be able to say no. So here's where the delegation to family, friends, and requests for help, that's where that comes in. Or if your boss can give you an extension on your deadline, or if the deadline is coming up, ask for a bit of early notice so you don't fall into the last minute thing and then feel too unable to handle it. There may be work demands or work you may be able to delegate at work. If you're not and you are self-employed, you ask for someone to help you schedule it. If it's a position at work and there's a personal assistant, let them get in on board. Let your employer know, well, I have this challenge, I have this. Caregivers, family caregivers, there's now a little bit more awareness of what they have to go through, but there's still a lot that's not being done. So, and fifth, prevention. Well, that's better than any cure, of course. That's better than that. But then knowing the signs, then feeling burnt out, then having to go through the thing, all the pressures. Prevent. How do you prevent? By knowing what the signs are. And we talked about them. If you're going towards that, if you're starting to feel irritable, if you're starting to feel the withdrawal, stop in your tracks. Say no. No, my oxygen mask is going on first. Do something for yourself. Just maybe unwind. Just grab a cup of something that tea, coffee. Not coffee, sorry. Just a calming tea. Water. Maybe just take 3 deep breaths. Say a prayer. Call a friend. So, and let them know I'm starting to have this. So you're preventing it before it gets to the ashes. So prevention, that would be the fifth tip. With all that in mind, caregiving does bring joy. It does bring challenges. It can bring exhaustion and burnout. If you have those signs, seek help. Awesome chatting with you. I love this community. I love the fact that the awareness is increasing, and I'm so happy to share. So write down your points. What are you going to do today? What may you have to do today, tomorrow, to seek help, to look for the signs that you may be suffering from burnout? We'll be joining in this channel every week. And we're going to talk something for caregivers. We must take care of ourselves if we are to take care of anyone else. Welcome, lovely chatting with you. This was a serious topic, but it does show that there is hope. There's always hope. There's always another way. So anytime you want, if you want to chat, if you want to explore this further, you can find me at my email address down below. Lana at careagentthrivewithlana.com. It's down below. Remember to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you found it helpful, for yourself or someone else, subscribe. There's going to be more. There's going to be more tips. There's going to be more solutions. We're going to explore this caregiving more, but caring for yourself first. And press the notification bell. I'll be here every week, live at 10 on Thursdays and uploaded on Fridays. Wonderful, awesome. Love you guys. Take care. You go with all heart. Do it with all heart. You're doing the best that you can. And that's enough. And you are enough. And just know that. See you until next time. Bye-bye.